Even though ChatGPT is just 2 months old, it has already shocked the tech world. In just 1 week, it attracted over 1 million users and is likely to fundamentally alter how we use technology. Although it appears that OpenAI is winning, and that ChatGPT's creators are on top of the world right now, another company that you are very familiar with has been waiting for this moment for years, because it will make them the true winners of the AI war and the millions of dollars that are on the line. For many years, Microsoft has been working behind the scenes, and they're about to reveal a brilliant $10 billion contract with OpenAI that could end up being the biggest in technology history. And if they are successful, businesses like Google will be left in the dust. The individuals who essentially created the technology underlying artificial intelligence, and speaking of Google, this is the first time anyone truly stands a chance of unseating them as the undisputed search kings. Microsoft is transitioning from a mundane corporation that makes spreadsheet software to managing the revolutionary AI that will arrive in the next few years for 3 primary reasons, and ChatGPT is only a little component of this picture. The decision to invest $1 billion in OpenAI, which at the time was only a small AI research lab, was made by Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella in 2019. However, innovations like ChatGPT or AI-generated artworks were still regarded as science fantasy. Nobody could have foreseen that we would get at the stage where we are today in just 3 years. Although the educational system is attempting to learn how to deal with AI, this kind of technology grows using a growth pattern known as a hockey stick, when very little changes occur over a long period of time, compound, and then erupt suddenly, and that's what's taking place right now. The clever element of Microsoft's 2019 agreement with OpenAI, though, was that a portion of the $1 billion Microsoft paid was made up of cloud credits. And this is the magic formula. The cost of maintaining and managing an AI model is the absurd amount of computing power that it requires. Thus, it is not unexpected that this is the highest expense that every AI company has. This helps you grasp how crucial this is. Guess who is the second largest provider of cloud computing in the world? Yes, I believe some of you are beginning to understand why this decision was so brilliant. Microsoft basically said, "Hey, I'm going to give you all this money to take a piece of your amazing firm, but I also know that your biggest expense will be processing power. And guess who's going to provide you with that as well?" Recently, it was revealed that Microsoft and OpenAI are allegedly negotiating a $10 billion merger. If it goes through, this could very well be the single most brilliant tech deal in history. However, where will OpenAI use all of this money? You probably cast it on Microsoft computing power, for the most part. Why on earth would OpenAI accept this then? First off, it will make their founders and workers a fortune. However, the other more significant problem is that even though that ChatGPT is the newest craze in technology, it is burning through money quickly. OpenAI spends $3 million per day on cloud computing only to enable you to play around with creating rhymes on ChatGPT. If you combine it all up, they'll probably spend $1 to $3 billion on cloud computing alone in 2019. Even if this is a fantastic deal for Microsoft and can immediately elevate Satya Nadella to the status of a genius, the real goal of OpenAI and Microsoft is to lay the groundwork for future advances in artificial intelligence. Think of them as a tower-like structure. The front-end application ChatGPT, which has been spreading the news like wildfire, is only a mask of the main component, an AI model that has been trained. It is a conversation-based adaptation of a model known as GPT 3.5 in the case of ChatGPT, which in the case of OpenAI is kindly provided by Microsoft at the base of the tower and stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. Due to the high cost of building a new AI model from scratch, many businesses just choose to pay OpenAI to use their pre-existing models, like ChatGPT, like GPT-3 through APIs. For instance, Notion's new AI writing features are driven by GPT, which means they indirectly use Microsoft servers. This leads to billions of dollars in income for both OpenAI and Microsoft when multiplied by thousands of businesses and millions of daily interactions. Up until this point, Bing has essentially been an exact clone of Google. Everything about it is the same, including the layout and guiding principles. And by being Windows' default browser, they were able to gain their 9% market share. So far, their main contribution has been quality memes. But given that they now have a place at a search engine table, this wasn't entirely in vain. A number of important factors. Simply integrating ChatGPT into Bing is not an option. Buyers and lawsuits come first. There are already innumerable instances of ChatGPT and other AI models, such as DALL-E, producing outcomes that might be racially inappropriate, harmful, or offensive, since the data that is utilized to train AI systems determines how effective they will be. Therefore, you can be sure that the model will have some errors. For instance, if you asked Bing to summarize a day's news, some journalists could wonder if their article was written by the AI to produce the findings. And don't forget that Microsoft tried to launch an AI chat a few years ago, but it had to be shut down almost immediately because it got especially offensive and racist issues. And last, economics. The primary issue with AI systems at the moment is their astronomical cost. A single ChatGPT response only costs a few cents, which is more than 100 times more expensive than a typical Google search. Additionally, pay-per-click advertising, in which businesses pay search engines a set sum for each click they create, is a current revenue stream for both Google and Bing. However, this simply can't happen if an AI search engine would provide you the solution rather than a list of links on a page. Building the first premium search engine, where users pay a monthly price to access something that is simply drastically better, is one way Microsoft may address this. One question still remains, however. Why has Google done nothing about this? They will always be the forefront of AI, but they haven't produced any significant AI-based products that come close to comparing to the impact of ChatGPT or DALL-E 2. Due to the fact that, yep, Google could completely redesign their search engine using AI, but they just have too much to lose. Google search accounts for 58% of their revenue. Thus, taking this chance could have devastating consequences for them. Bing only accounts for 5% of Microsoft's total revenue. On the other hand, their potential downside is therefore quite little, but their upside potential is very large. Additionally, everything appears to be falling into place for Microsoft's grand goal to control the AI infrastructure in the ensuing 10 years. For all of this to materialize, however, one condition must be met. Models like GPT-3 must continue to be defended, meaning that they are difficult for another company to duplicate, since, if this were to happen, every company would create their own AI models rather than working with Microsoft. The majority of AI applications that we see now are based in some way on GPT, like infrastructure architectures. But whether this will remain the norm in the future is something we just do not know. The year 2023 will be tremendously intriguing for AI, but what excites me the most is that, finally, 20 years later, Microsoft might have figured out how to develop a decent clip-it replacement. If you enjoyed watching this video, please consider subscribing to my channel. It truly helps me keep doing what I do.